Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Minding Everyone's Business. I'm Crystal, the founder of Book of Bijou, and today we have the fabulous Jessica Martin joining us.
Hello, hello.
Jessica is an incredible mother of two handsome young boys. She is a military wife and she is a brand rep for Red Aspen. That incredible Pump It Up Maggie mascara that I shared with you guys on my IG stories the other week, that is from Red Aspen. You can check it all out at www.redaspen.com/JessDressedUp. So Jess, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and just how you got started with Red Aspen?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me here, by the way. I just want to throw that out real quick. This is so fun. So, I became a mom. Let's just start there because that's really where this journey, I think, started. I became a mom, and that can be very consuming, as you well know. And as much as I love it, I was finding a really hard time to find that space for myself, for self-care. And I didn't think that that was going to bring me down as much, but it's hard when you can't make the time for yourself, or you have things that you want to do, and you can't quite squeeze it into your schedule. Because as you mentioned, also my husband is in the military. I'm a military spouse, and he's gone all the time. And so I can't do a lot of things for myself, like out of the house. And we actually had our boys before we got married, and we got engaged, and I was rocking a new piece of jewelry, and I was feeling really down about my hands because of course my ring then draws attention and you want to take the photos, but I just could not find the time to get to the salon. And I've never had a bad experience with babysitters or anything like that, but I just prefer to be the one, or having close family or friends looking after my kids. And at this point in time, I wasn't able to get out to go. And my cousin, Lindsay, is actually also a Red Aspen brand ambassador. She's my upline. And she'd been telling me about these nail dashes for about a year. And I kept telling her no because I felt this, I guess I want to say, stigma towards press on nails. And I just was like, no, I'm not wearing them, I'm not wearing them. And I saw her camping here. And she had her nails on for camping, and they were amazing. I mean, they lasted through all the digging in the dirt, the jet skiing, like everything we were doing. They just looked incredible. So I was like, girl, I'm sold now that I've seen them in person. And then when we got home, I ordered two sets. And after I had my first pair, was also this same color red. And after I was wearing it for 2 days, I was like, I'm sold. This has been such a problem solver for me. I think that this will solve a lot of problems for other people. So I never wanted a direct sales business. I wasn't even actually looking for a business. I just knew how awesome this product was, and I wanted to share it.
So you got into it because of the love of the product, not because you were looking for something to do for yourself.
Yeah, what I wanted for myself was nice looking hands. I mean, if you think about all the times in the day that you see your hands, whether you're texting, driving, typing, laundry, dishes, diapers, like it just was a constant reminder, like in my face, of, Jessica, you haven't done anything for yourself. Like, look at your hands. You can't even take care of your hands.
Right.
So that's what I wanted. And this was such a great solution, where delivered to my door, 10 minutes to apply, easy to do. And I feel put together and polished. I keep doing this because this is how they make me feel.
Why do you think that there is that stigma, or at least for you, for wearing press-on nails? I guess I feel the same way, actually. I try to avoid it, but why do you think that is?
I think there's immediately the fear of, are they going to pop off in public and I'm going to be so embarrassed when I'm at a restaurant and I have to go run across the floor to grab my nail.
Uh-huh.
That is, I think, because that for me was like a big thing too. And I think it's also kind of old school, like oddly enough, my mom sold press on nails when she was a stay-at-home mom with my brother and I. So this is kind of like also full circle, which is pretty comical when I reflect on that. So I just, it's neat because this is an updated product. That, the type of plastic that the nail is different than what we've had in the past. Our glue is different than what we've had in the past. I think there's that fear factor. And I think, well, there's a prestige too that goes along with acrylics, gels, when you go to the salon to have them done. And that's just not my life anymore. Like it used to be. And I found enjoyment in that. But now I find when I go to a salon, I'm thinking about 1,000 other things. I can't really relax. And I also have 1,000 other things I'd rather be at happy hour with my girlfriends. And that's just my personal, choice. But I just know that there's a lot of people that find the same struggle that I do, with the time commitments, having to, get your fills. Otherwise you're rocking that grow out that's just not that flattering. So it's like, if you can't keep up with them, this gives me a lot more flexibility and it's a lot less expensive. And I have one now out of diapers, but in the beginning, two in diapers, that's a lot of extra cash. So my budget had changed. So it was like, this was just a great solution for that.
Uh-huh. So I was actually going to ask if you still find yourself going to the salon every now and then, just, just to experience it again.
Yeah, well, and COVID has changed a lot of things,
Right.
obviously.
Of course.
But no, I won't go back for manicures. Now I'm gonna lie. We do sell toe dashes and I love them. I absolutely love my toe dashes with a passion, but I can get behind a pedicure in a salon because I love the massage. I love all the scrubby, like, so as much as I love my toe dashes, I would go back. California just recently reopened. So I would definitely go back for pedicures, even though I will still majority of the time wear my toe dashes. But manicures, it's not my thing to sit my hands there and it just doesn't, it's not my form of self-care.
Yeah, I totally get it. Pedicures for sure are significantly more relaxing. And you can actually
Totally.
be doing things while they're doing your
Yeah,
toes.
exactly. Like I can work, I can read, when your hands aren't being
Right.
held there.
Right. And I totally resonated with you when you said that when you do go now, you just have like a million things running through your head. You're probably
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I've been away from my kids for so long. How are they doing?
Uh-huh. Are they destroying the house? What are they,
Right.
what's the babysitter feeding them right now? Like,
right. I totally get it. So what is your position as a brand ambassador entail?
it's amazing. Like this is my first experience with direct sales. So I've never done anything like this before, in a company. It's as hard as you want to make it. It's as flexible as you want to make it. I mean, you can take it and charge full force and make it a full-time gig if you want to. You can literally just do it part-time on the side like I do. My first priority obviously is kids always come first, nail dashes, Red Aspen comes second. But it's social selling, like direct sales. It's social selling. So you're literally just sharing your life, your story, and sharing a product that you think will solve problems for other people, kind of serving your audience, teaching to the best of your abilities. It's not just, please buy for me, please buy for me, please buy for me. You're not putting a lot of effort into the sales aspect. It's more of just sharing. And so it can come very naturally if you allow it to just kind of become part of your lifestyle, and share that with other people. But if you really want to, be truly successful, and you can grind it out with all your sales charts and your goals and your networking and all that, totally doable. So, but for me, I take it from a very casual standpoint where it is just a side hustle that I love. And I love to see it growing. But I love that that's a really organic thing for me right now.
It does seem so natural for you. Every time I see your IG stories, like it really is just a part of your life. And I think you just make the perfect brand ambassador because of that. It doesn't seem so forced. It doesn't seem like you're just like shoving it down people's throats. Have you kind of felt like there was a stigma with these kinds of companies as well, direct sales?
It's so unique. And thank you for saying that this is like natural, because I can't even believe how nervous I feel right now just doing this with you.
You're doing amazing.
So yes, and I wasn't prepared for that. I have been around obviously and subjected to different direct sales company, multi-level marketing type stuff. And I've definitely been hit up with, the same thing that everybody complains about. Hey girl, how are you? And you haven't talked to them in 20 years. If you're not that pushy person, it's a very different world. If you truly, like I said, it's all about finding the right product. Like if I was looking for a direct sales job, I have a feeling I would have probably got about this in the wrong way, because I would just be looking to make money and looking to sell people and trying to influence them to maybe want something that they didn't originally want. But when this comes from a place of like problem solving, which is all it was for me, and sharing that knowledge and sharing something that you think really does make a difference, that I know there's a lot of moms out there that are like me, or just busy career, you don't have to be a mom, the career women, people that just, have tight schedules. There is a stigma, but I think it's really important to notice the difference between what's the negative kind of direct sales and what's the positive, and try and be that positive person. Sharing and not selling is pretty much a big quote, I guess, that people kind of talk about in this industry. So I do feel like sometimes, I'm fighting an upstream battle with that, but I'm doing the best I can to be that different person. So
Do you feel like your friends and family kind of welcomed it pretty openly, or were they kind of hesitant because they knew it was direct sales? It was like some kind of multi-level marketing business?
yeah, it's so funny because I'm very blessed with amazing friends and family. My mom was like my first, I had one good friend from high school that jumped right away and tried it. And then my mom, of course, was like my biggest Nail Dash fan. Um, so they've been really awesome. And I think that, again, it's because I came from it saying, you guys saw me and how, I didn't want to show pictures of my ring, or I was, hiding my hands or just kind of feeling frumpy. Like you can tell, your friend's mood when you talk to him. And it's like, I put these bad boys on and everything was different. I had a little pep in my step again. And it was like, I was finding so much joy in this that it was like, I no longer felt like the tired mom all the time. I had this, outlet for me physically and mentally that was like really lifting my spirits. And I think people are attracted to that and they want to know why, whether nail dashes are for them or not. And I think that's another key thing where people go wrong in this business, is assuming that people need to buy their product to be supportive of them. And that's not true at all. Even if nail dashes weren't for my mom, I know she would like my post, even if, for my cousins, if they didn't want to try the makeup, they would still like my post. They would still tell the friends that they knew that might be open to this. And so everybody's been really great. I'm very blessed in that way. And I think that everybody's been really happy with the products that they have tried and that they have used, because our customer service is great too. So I think that when your company has great customer service and then you're providing that, relationship based service, it's very different. It's very positive.
I wanted to go back to when you said you kind of started as like when you were proposed to,
Yeah.
and you want to take pictures of it and you want your nails to look nice. I think that's so funny because I told Daniel, like, when he ever does propose to me, like, make sure my nails are done first.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so a thing though. It's so a thing. Like, and I, noticed that I was wanting to buy more jewelry. I was wanting to accessorize again because I felt pretty again. If I'm going to be honest, like I felt beautiful again. Like there was that energy inside and that just flows through the outside. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not that physical beauty is what makes you happy. It's that I was finding that self-care and I had this physical reminder every single time, again, doing dishes, folding laundry, doing the diapers. It was like, it's okay that you're tired. You still look good. You got this, girl. And that's what I want to share with other people. That's what I'm trying to spread around, and give, people that feel tired a lot, or that are feeling, some sort of void. I want them to feel that energy and that happiness again. And if it's a nail dash or some awesome mascara that makes you feel that way, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Mhm. Red Aspen does have a makeup line and a bunch of makeup
Yes.
products. Were
Yes.
you into like the whole makeup artist scene prior to this?
No, so I love makeup growing up. Like I loved it. I was the girl that was always wearing the heavy faces. I could not get out. It was my morning art project. I loved makeup. I carried that through into my early 20s, and actually got hired with MAC. And I was very excited. That didn't go the direction I was hoping for, because it was like I was hired as a freelance artist. So it was like I was good enough that they didn't need to train me, but they figured it would kind of just go on the job. And it just wasn't for me. I didn't want to be back in the malls, and
Right.
I found fitness living in Southern California. I found fitness and I got really into that. So then it was like, I'm doing beach workouts and I wasn't wearing any makeup. I was just in the sun, in the sand, like
Uh-huh.
loving it. So this is like now kind of my balance between kind of both those worlds. Like obviously, because being a mom, chasing toddlers is a huge workout. So I wear very light face now. And that's kind of, in like my VIP groups on my IGTV, like I try to show really fast, simple makeup looks. I'm not talking cut crease. I'm simply like, this is amazing mascara. This is why I like it. Here's a real simple eyeshadow and our little eyeshadow quad. It's a quick technique. So I do fast, simple, fun makeup. That's why my business name, Just Dressed Up, is because it rarely happens. So when I do, it needs to be fast and toddler mom friendly.
Uh-huh. I love that though, because I mean, there's a million professional makeup artists there and they do like the full glam looks, but there are people that definitely need like these quick and easy makeup looks to go.
Totally. Absolutely. And it's like, you can also really fall out of the habit. Like in that fitness industry time of my life, I lost a lot of, I guess I didn't lose technique that I had from prior. It's just that the world changes, the technique change, science changes, we're learning more. And so it's like when I did start wearing a lot of makeup again, or not a lot, but the makeup that I do wear, I was kind of taken aback. I mean, there was a moment where I saw somebody using one of those blender balls and I was like, I've never seen that before. What is that?
Uh-huh.
So, there was a gap there. And so I do love too that Red Aspen provides a lot of training for the brand ambassadors. I think that that's really awesome. You don't have to be super experienced just because I'm my own business, aside or within Red Aspen, like the company is still a great parent company of education. I always say a lot of people start with just the nail dashes because that's also something pretty unique that our company offers right now. And so as our makeup line grows and evolves, I encourage my nail dash ambassadors to start moving into the makeup as well. Because I have a lot of clients that are makeup only clients that aren't necessarily into the dashes. So it's a
Right.
very, very good part of our business as well.
So pre-babies, pre-motherhood, did you have your nails done all the time?
Only when I was flying. that stint that I was a flight attendant right there.
Uh-huh.
So after the fitness, pre-kids, yeah, I had my nails done, but I was not. I would do a lot of pedicures. I loved my pedicures, or I'm not afraid to get down there and paint them myself. But no, my nails were not always done, and I don't have phenomenal natural nails as it is, regardless of vitamins, alkaline water. Like it's not one of my fabulous genes, I guess. I just have never had nice nails, so just a natural nail on me I don't find flattering. I have so many girlfriends that have amazing natural nails and I'm so jealous, but it was not a natural trait of mine. So I usually skipped the nails all the way around and just went straight to pedicures.
Well, they look amazing all the time now.
Yeah, thank you. It
Yeah.
was funny because right before our wedding, so we eloped to Vegas, and I hadn't found nail dashes yet, and we were getting married at a helicopter. So I went to the salon and I got the coffin length, awesome faded French. Like I got home from Vegas and I couldn't depress the button in the kids' car seats to get them out. And then it was like a whole other thing where I have to go and, book an appointment at the salon and have the shape change done and all that. So it was a really another reminder. And I just was like, okay. So when I saw my cousin camping, I was just on that nail dash train.
I totally know what you're talking about with the car seat because I used to have all these really long nails also,
Yep.
and I would use my knuckle to push the button,
Uh-huh.
and my
Yep.
knuckles would start getting all sore. But then there's this thing called the car seat key.
I was just going to say, have you heard of
I
those?
have one. I had
Do
actually
you
never
have
heard
one?
of it 'cause I've had short nails ever
Oh,
since COVID, of course, but
uh-huh.
I do have one. It's amazing.
I need to get one.
Yeah.
Even though my dash length, these are short and it's what I wear the most, but
Uh-huh.
we do have longer nails that I do love. So yes, I need to get a car seat key big time.
Right. I want to talk about kind of the transition into motherhood. So I
Yes.
know for me, I love getting dressed up, not so much
Mm-hmm.
dolled up with the face, because I've never been really good with makeup. I'm very basic. I just do my eyebrows, mascara, blush. Um, but definitely after I had kids, I now have two. It's really taken the furthest back seat possible to make yourself
Yep.
look pretty, right? Because you're always taking care of the kids and everything like that.
Yep.
So how long did it take for you to kind of fall back into that? Okay, let me start taking care of myself. You know, you kind of feel like you're not really yourself after you have kids, right? You kind of have to figure out your way back to your pre-baby self while still being a new mother.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's a balance is what it really comes down to, because obviously, kids, that's a life-changing thing. But I would say, it wasn't, gosh, when Corey and I got married, Warner was 6 months, I want to say. So I was kind of that 6 month mark. And it really wasn't until I had the whole nail dash experience when I kind of started realizing this is possible though. You have to find your balance and you have to really want it. And you have to make the time. It is still a commitment. Any dress up is a commitment. And taking the time whether that's at night before you go to bed or first thing when you wake up, because everybody does have a tiny bit of quiet time, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't
Just
think we
tiny
would
bit.
survive if we didn't. But I think it's about being honest with how you use that time. And it's like, are you going to go down the rabbit hole, the scroll hole, or are you actually going to like just take time to do some introspective work? Even if that's like looking at your planner and just hashing out, maybe it's, I'm going to make a goal that on Wednesdays, I put a face on, even if that's just for me. And I'm not going anywhere, but it's a really difficult transition. But I don't like people that kind of gloss over that part, being like, it's so easy, you just, once the kids are a little older, then you just, find yourself again. And it's like, no, I don't. I mean, at least that wasn't my experience. I had to kind of work for it, and I had to make it a priority and understand. Oh, somebody shared an awesome quote with me the other day, and it was making time for yourself doesn't mean putting yourself first. It just means like me too.
Yes.
And so
Okay. I was going to bring that up,
you,
but that was you.
yeah, yeah.
I love that quote.
It was so great because it's true. It's like, because you can't, when you have young kids that are completely dependent upon you, it's not like you really have the opportunity to be like, nope, it's my time. You can't, my kids need to eat. Like, I have to make them the priority, but I can still find the ways to work myself in there too when I choose to. Well, I have to make the choice.
Mhm. How old are they now?
2 and 3.
Oh my God, they're still they're babies. Why
They
did
are.
they're so much older?
No, they're still quite young.
Yeah,
So
so this is a very
it's,
needy time.
yeah, it is. It's a very needy time. And to be, pretty much the one that's always home, it does all fall on me. But it's been so nice. And I cannot express enough, like, the energy and just how much better, I feel now that I found this. Because even though, like, my kids are involved in my business a lot too. Like, when I do my lives and my demonstrations for makeup technique or dash application, you know, I do have to be careful with what we show, just being a military family, for like operational security. But they're running around the background. I mean, I did a live the other day and I was doing my makeup and I had my ring light on and I'm just staring in my camera. And I didn't realize that like Warner was back here on the bed and he's like hanging off of it, doing trust falls on the bed and on the pillows. And so it was like this whole little comical piece back here that I do think, because a lot of my clients are mothers and grandmothers, aunts, people get that and they find that heartwarming too, I think. And it's fun for them too, to see like, while my Red Aspen business is not a main source of income for the family, it is, a little something extra. And I like to use it to, either spoil myself or spoil the kids or get something for Corey, that he didn't see coming. So I think it's fun to kind of bring that into the business as well.
Uh-huh. So let's talk about your schedule. I mean, obviously, kids don't necessarily work with schedules. So how, even though you're just doing this part-time, you still have to be able to have that kind of presence on your social media. So how are you able to manage that with these two boys running around? And in essence, you're a lot of the times kind of a single mom because
Yeah.
you're home alone with them. So how are
Yeah.
you able to juggle that?
I don't know. I think it's kind of like all the other aspects of motherhood. Somehow you find the will to survive. I'm very lucky that, so my cousin being my upline, she's a great leader and she is so organized and her kids are grown. So she's already kind of gone through, she's been involved in a lot of different direct sales companies. She has several businesses that she manages. And so she's gone through this experience already. And I'm very lucky to have her kind of mentoring me through it. Her organizational skills are amazing. And so it's a lot of like, I follow a lot of influencers on IG that always share, great, fast tips and tricks for getting your stories organized and, talking about your social media presence. And, I always have my goals and things I want to shoot for. Does it always come out perfectly? No, but I also think that sometimes done is better than absolutely perfect. So I just try to stay as consistent as possible. But I have been struggling a lot with that lately. So I really do think that it's about having your calendar and having some sort of strategy that you're at least aiming for, because usually if you set your marker here, even if you fall here, you're still doing a really good job.
Right.
So yeah, I I am not the most organized person. I will be totally honest. A lot of stuff I still feel like, even though I'm taking in the knowledge and I'm listening to what people are telling me, it's like the actual application and doing it is making it, come to fruition can be a little bit more challenging. So I just keep trying, and I really try not to be too hard on myself. And I have been told and complimented by, some people that, my social media presence is still very real, and you can tell that it's not very scripted. A lot of times you can tell that I'm just kind of winging it and flying by the seat of my pants. And that's kind of who I am too. Just, I'm not trying to change me to be somebody different on social media. I'm just showing what I can of my life. And I'm hoping that people are resonating with that.
It does come off very authentic, and that's
Thank you.
because it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're doing an amazing job, honestly. And I mean, again, I totally get it. Like with kids at home, if you have 5 minutes of your time, you use that 5 minutes, even though you didn't have, the hour to prep for that 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You're just going to use the time that you have.
you
Totally.
do. Exactly. It's
Um,
you make it work. And sometimes that is, like you said, it's authentic, and it's some of the best stuff that you can show, right?
right. Yeah. So you don't have time to like clean up the mess in the back. You're just going to do what you got to do. And
Oh, I wish you could see all the boxes that are like surrounding me on the floor right now, where I was literally just lobbing toys
push it all
in
aside.
there. Like, we'll deal with this and sort it out later.
Right. So let's go back to the fact that your husband is in the military. And so privacy is obviously a concern. And you mentioned that you had to be very cautious about what you were sharing. And I think it was earlier last year that your account was actually still private, but now it is public and you are making yourself more available and putting yourself out there more. So how did you end up making that decision to make that transition?
So Corey and I were talking about, he understands, that I have goals and drive with this. I'm really excited about what has already happened with business, and whether it grows slowly but surely or it grows really quickly. He knows that I want the growth, and I love that he's still so supportive of that. We just had to have a little bit more of an understanding of like what we were comfortable with the outside world seeing and what we wanted to keep private. So really, I'm trying to stay away from really focusing on my life as a military spouse and sharing that Navy life, and more so focusing on my product itself with teaching and serving my audience with, tutorials and demos. And then also just including the toddler mom aspect of life. I needed to kind of reel it in too, because you also don't want to be too broad, and you don't need every aspect of your life, or your audience can get lost in your message. And so I think that kind of reeling things in and narrowing down what I really wanted to talk about online is a really strong tool for me in my business as well. So we just kind of we had that figured out a little bit. I got nothing but a lot of support from him in being able to move forward, which is great.
Yeah, that's great. So you're really able to draw that line and still be able to move forward.
Yeah,
What your
exactly. It's like,
boundaries are.
not everything has to be public.
Right. Totally agree.
I got to add a little mystery in there, right?
So I want to go back to just the whole structure of the business about these multi-level marketings. And I did ask already if there was, that how do you deal with that stigma? So have you had people mention the comment of like pyramid schemes or something of that sort? Have you heard that a lot?
Yeah, not directed at me, but I've seen a lot of people's stories that can, I don't want to call them snide comments, because I feel like, they're probably justified in posting their annoyance. I talked about how people do it wrong and they approach somebody they haven't talked to in 30 years with, hey, do you want to try my product? Or just, how are you? But that person already knows that they're doing some sort of direct sales.
Right.
So, it's something that I have seen a lot of, but I again feel grateful that nothing's ever really been directed at me, and that's because also, while Red Aspen is like, when you look at it, like I said, my cousin's my upline. It does go like this: if you want to build a team, I have never been driven to do that. I do have a few girls underneath me, so I have a very small team, but that hasn't really been my business goal. I am so focused on sharing what an awesome product this is, because I feel like that is, that was my big solution. Money wasn't my problem. My problem was my hands. And so I'm sharing what I know, which is the solution of nail dashes and this fast, easy, friendly makeup that's really clean and good for you. Red Aspen is awesome. Like, we have two platforms. So you can either build the team and start making money, getting people under you, growing, or we have just a sales track, and that is direct sales. And I'm literally just sharing, selling, and I'm making money that way, which can be different than a lot of other companies where you're very pressured into building this team and growing. So I'm very grateful that my success isn't determined by building all this underneath me. I can literally just share my product, and the more people that love it and like it and use it, I can still do very, very well with Red Aspen with that alone. Now, I'm not opposed to having a team. If people, also find that they're in a position like I was, where they fell in love with it and they want to rep it and sell it and share it too, that's amazing. And I want to be there and mentor those people, because how much I love this. And for me, as a small side hustle business, it's going great. But it's not something that I have to have. So I'm really grateful that I haven't been really targeted as somebody that's like in this, because it's not a pyramid scheme.
Right.
Everything we do is legal and totally legit. But it's very easy for people to want to toss around that phrase when they feel offended, or they feel annoyed by getting these messages in their inbox, right? You know what I mean?
What would you say to a woman that would want to start with the business, but they're afraid of coming off as, being annoying to their friends, and they're afraid of all of these snide
Right.
remarks? What would you say to them?
Tell me again why you like the product. What product is your favorite? Why do you like it? And then we'll follow up with the next product. And if they run out of products, that's fine. We'll stick with what they got. And that's what you need to share and with people on your social media. You start out there. And then once you have the few people that, are also looking for that solution and love that product the same that you do, then you start asking for those referrals. And you've already built that relationship. So it's not a greasy, sleazy, salesy kind of way of doing things. I really do feel like the more authentic and genuine it is, then it's not going to be something that you're going to feel is like work and a burden, and something like, you're like, is this sketchy? Do I sound sleazy? If you have to ask yourself if you sound sleazy, you probably do. So you need to not do that. And you need to go back to the basics and just, again, what problem am I solving? And why do I love this so much? What was the solution for me? And keep talking about your joy and your happiness. I mean, that's what the world wants right now. That's what people are attracted to, right? Is people lifting each other up, finding solutions for problems, and really elevating. It's natural to have a fear factor, especially if you've never done anything like this before, but it's talking it out and just remembering you have to love the product, because if you don't love the product, then there's no point in sharing it.
Yeah. Then you really are truly just, you become a salesperson.
Exactly. And there's,
it's not coming
there's
from
a lot of other great jobs that, you can do in sales that don't, you're not cold calling people and feeling, not so great about it. So, yeah, I really do love what I do with this. And I just love that it can be done in such a right way where it's not giving anybody the ickies.
Yeah. One thing that I still take away from my Stella and Dot experience, if you remember, I was a stylist with Stella and
I
Dot,
do.
was
I
that
do.
so when we would have our trainings and we would talk about, follow-ups and things like that, it's important to remember that you following up is not you being annoying. It's you being professional. You're offering
Exactly.
services. So that's something that you want to keep in mind.
Exactly. You are. And you're, if you were to not follow up with somebody, that's bad service. That is, you need to make sure that they're happy with the investment that they placed with you. And you need to make sure that they are satisfied with the product and feeling the same love for it, whether it's a necklace or nails. You have to make sure that they're satisfied. That's a really, really important aspect of it. Not just trying to foster, more sales in the future, but because that's just what a good person does.
Right. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So lastly, Jess, if someone is interested in your products, how can they reach out to you, and where can they find
Oh my gosh, by all means. So I have a Facebook group, which is private, but that's an easy invite. It's called Dashes and Details. And then I'm on Instagram, Jess_dressed up. And then also I have an email address, which is Jess Dressed Up. So JESS, two S's in Jess, dressed up @gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jess, for joining us today. And
Thank you for having me.
thank you everyone at home for tuning in. Really, really appreciate you. Of course, check out her website again if you want to check out the products, redaspen.com/Jess Dressed Up. Follow us on Instagram, Book of Bijou, Jess_dressed up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you, Jess, for joining us.